Jayden Daniels, without a doubt, is one of the best rising quarterbacks in the league right now. He's just been balling out. He's just been looking ridiculous. It seems like every time he's on the field, he makes a play. And even though he's a rookie, it already feels like he leads the team. He helps the team. It doesn't feel like he's just there as a game manager or somebody to just not turn the ball over. The Washington Commanders truly win games because of him. And that's just spectacular, especially me being an LSU fan. I remember when he was on the team, he was balling out. I remember watching the Heisman ceremony on TV. He was balling out, and that's just crazy. But this is honestly where his story begins, of course. Jayden Daniels started his football career at Cajun High School in 2015. As a youth, he played multiple sports, including flag football, basketball, and soccer. Of course, regular football, regular gridiron football, that would be his bread and butter, of course. That's where he would make his name. In 53 games in high school, he had 211 touchdowns, 170 passing touchdowns, and 41 rushing touchdowns for 7,642 career total yards. He was ridiculous. Also, he was a track athlete in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and 400 meter. And in the 2019 All-American High School game, he received over 25 college offers, including where he would go to would be the Arizona Sun Devils first. Now, during Daniels' time with the Sun Devils for a total of 3 seasons, it was up and down. He was named the starter his freshman year, but in 2019 he got injured. 2020 was the COVID year, and then 2021, same thing. He also got injured, which he would play well, don't get me wrong, but it was a mixed bag at the time. You would sometimes get a good player with good accuracy like you see right here, and then other times you might get a guy that gets hurt. Overall, I wouldn't say he was a bust. He had I believe almost 6,000 passing yards at ASU, but unfortunately it was so bad there, and even his own teammates didn't like him. Even in the clip you're about to see, they actually mock his old locker and poke fun at him. Take a peek.
Clean it out. He out of this bitch. Suck anyways.
Man, that sucks to hear that from your very own teammates, but of course, this wouldn't be the end for Jayden Daniels. This would only be the beginning, and he would just get better from here. Daniels would eventually transfer to LSU and play for them in 2020. He was originally in a competition with Garrett Nussmeier to become the starter, which of course he did win the starting position. Of course, in 2022 he led the Tigers to the 2022 SEC Championship game against the Georgia Bulldogs. And when I tell you he was looking good, he even had a pretty good season. His first season at LSU, it was damn good. He was a Davey O'Brien finalist, and he was voted the team's most valuable player. He had 17 passing touchdowns and 11 rushing touchdowns. He had over 2,900 passing yards and almost 900 rushing yards that season. But of course, that wouldn't be the end of Jayden Daniels. He would just keep getting better and better from there, because in 2023, of course, that's when he truly broke out. He had 50 total touchdowns. He had almost 5,000 total yards. And of course, he won the Heisman Trophy, making him another LSU quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy within a short period of time. When I tell you this dude was just ridiculous, like again, video game numbers, NCAA 25 numbers before NCAA 25 even came out. He was the talk all of college football. And some people thought he didn't deserve the Heisman. Of course, maybe I'm biased because I'm an LSU fan, but I thought he did. Dude was just too good. I mean, just look at him take off there. He could run. Of course, his passing was good. He was a very underrated passer. Some people thought he was just a runner, and that, of course, his running style, with him being so small, wouldn't work. But of course, it did work for him, and it led to the Heisman Trophy, which, of course, the biggest prize in college football, you know. And of course, with him being the Heisman Trophy finalist, well, not finalist, with him being the Heisman Trophy winner, pardon me, of course, there would be NFL teams looking at him. And of course, the team that would draft him later on would be super glad that they drafted this guy. Even though he went second, to be honest with you, no offense to Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels should have been number 1. He is proving why he should have been number 1. Let's just be honest. Of course, going into the draft, everyone knew who the number 1 overall pick was going to be. It was going to be Caleb Williams, no shocker there. But of course, some people actually kind of were shocked when the Washington Commanders selected Jayden Daniels. There was Drake May, there was Bo Nix. There was a few other quarterbacks, in the draft that they could have selected. But in my opinion, and of course in a lot of other people's opinions, they selected the best overall player. I mean, this guy, Heisman Trophy winner, one of the best players, I think, all time, in my opinion, in college football. I mean, look at that. The only FBS quarterback with over 12,000 passing yards and over 3,000 rushing yards. That's crazy. That's over 15,000 yards of total offense. That's between his 5 years of college football. That is pretty damn good. Now, of course, his overall size, there was some, doubt about his size. Teams were skeptical. So, of course, I mean, which that's normal. When there's a guy, smaller frame, hard running style, they're going to be, a little bit on the skeptical side about it. But I don't blame them, But at the end of the day, it worked out for him. It got him a Heisman, and as you're going to see later on, it definitely worked out in the NFL. And not only that, it worked out in a very short amount of time. He was able to show people, show the haters, show the doubters that it doesn't really matter. He was able to ball out with the Commanders, as you'll see later on in the video, or really coming up right on in the video. But let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you think was the best overall player in that draft? Let me know. After Daniels was selected by the Washington Commanders, he signed a contract worth $37.75 million fully guaranteed, and he was also informed he was going to be the day 1, week 1 starter. Not surprisingly, of course, he was a second overall pick, and trust me, the Commanders definitely needed a quarterback at that time, and that contract definitely paid off. Even in his first NFL game, he had over 80 yards with 2 touchdowns, and that was just the beginning. He just kept getting better and better. At one point, Jayden Daniels was even leading the league with, I believe, about 79% completion percentage. That's crazy for anybody, let alone a rookie quarterback first year coming in. And he's just been dangerous. He's been accurate. He's just been throwing darts. He's been on the move, making plays with his feet. That's one thing, even going back to his college days, he could always do. He could always extend plays, get out the pocket, turn nothing into something, And that's just the best thing about him, That's why I think the Commanders really got the best overall player in the draft. The dude that can do this, both ways. And just overall, as I said before, help a team. He isn't just a game manager. He helps you win games, and that's what you need as any team in the NFL, especially a team like the Washington Commanders. Of course, they were up and down. They were burning through quarterbacks. They needed a guy like Jayden Daniels to come in and just explode the offense, and that's exactly what he did. He's been doing better than Williams. He's been doing better than Bo Nix. He's been doing better than other rookie quarterbacks, or he's been doing better than most veteran quarterbacks on his team, or even in the NFL in general. And that's what I think is the craziest part about it. You don't see that too often where a rookie can come in and just make an impact. Don't get me wrong, you have guys like CJ Stroud off the Houston Texans who did it, but honestly, I think Jayden Daniels is making a more impactful run because he can run. He's more mobile than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is a little mobile. That's what it's going to boil down to at the end of the day. Which quarterback is the most mobile? Or at least in my opinion, which quarterback is the most mobile in this modern NFL? You definitely need a runner. And of course, through 11 games, he's sitting at 69% completion. He's sitting at almost 2,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, so only 3 interceptions, and 4 rushing touchdowns for a total of 14 touchdowns. He's just been balling out, man. A guy like Jayden Daniels only comes around every once in a few years, a true blue. He's his own player. He's not a Mike Vick. You can't compare him to that, because he's better thrower than Mike Vick. You can't compare him to Lamar Jackson because he's not as agile as Lamar. No, he can still make plays, but not like Lamar. He is truly a special player, and somebody like him you don't see very often. That is the best part about Jayden Daniels, and that's why I made this video. I wanted to show the love towards him. I wanted to share, a little bit about his story and why he's so special, and I really appreciate it, guys. Peace.